Have you ever had that feeling at work? Like the ground is kind of shifting under your feet, that whisper about AI getting louder, maybe making you wonder what it really means for your job, your team, your whole future in digital work. If that sounds familiar, well, you're definitely in the right place. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging right into how artificial intelligence is profoundly reshaping digital agencies and web development. Our goal here is pretty simple. Dig into the source material we've gathered, pull out the key insights, and basically give you a shortcut to being well-informed and, hopefully, ready to adapt.
It really is more than just a feeling, isn't it? It's tangible. And the source material we looked at uses this really powerful analogy. It says we're moving from hand tools to power tools. Think about like upgrading from a handsaw to a circular saw. Still needs skill, right?
Yeah.
But you're faster, you produce more. Seems like just an efficiency boost.
Right, sounds straightforward enough. But here's where it gets really interesting, and maybe a bit startling. The source immediately says, hang on, even that doesn't quite capture it. This isn't just getting better power tools. It's more like suddenly being handed warehouse-sized CNC machines and robotic arms.
Exactly. That's the core insight. This isn't just incremental change. It's a genuine upheaval. Think Industrial Revolution scale. But for digital work, it's fundamentally changing how everything gets done.
Wow. Okay, so that kind of massive change, it naturally brings up a mix of feelings, right? Excitement, sure, but also maybe some worry, some uncertainty about how fast this is all happening.
Absolutely. And if you're feeling any of that, believe me, you are not alone. Our goal today isn't to scare anyone, not at all. It's more about equipping you with knowledge, sparking some thinking, helping you figure out how to navigate what's coming.
Okay, that's a really important frame. Before we get too deep into the AI specifics, though, we probably need to talk about something agencies are feeling right now, today, the economy.
Yes, definitely. Lots of agencies, platform doesn't really matter. They're feeling a real pinch. High interest rates, inflation kicking in, client budgets getting tighter. Plus, we're seeing more work being pulled back in-house by clients. That's putting pressure on.
And that pressure is real. But it's crucial to make a distinction here, isn't it?
It really is. The key thing to understand, based on our sources, is that this current economic slump, it's not caused by AI. These are, standard economic cycles, ups and downs. But AI is a separate accelerating wave that's building. The material points out that while AI hasn't completely turned agency work upside down yet, that change is knocking at the door. It's poised to unleash what they call the most significant disruption since the rise of the internet.
Okay, so separate forces, but both happening now. Let's talk specifics then. Where is AI making tangible impacts on agency work today?
Oh, right. Well, let's start with something super common. Content creation. We're already seeing AI generate pretty decent first drafts. Blog posts, landing pages, social media stuff, emails, you name it, the human role. It's shifting dramatically. Instead of starting with a blank page, you're now editing, refining, making sure it aligns with strategy, with the brand voice. You kind of become more of a curator, a strategist, less purely a creator.
Interesting. And does that pattern hold true for something like, say, code generation? Similar shift happening there.
Very similar, yeah. In development, AI tools are taking over more and more of the basic implementation tasks. What that means is senior developers can suddenly move a lot faster, they can iterate more quickly, and junior developers, they might find themselves tackling things that used to require more experience because the AI handles some of the foundational stuff. The focus shifts heavily towards reviewing, guiding, and refining the code the AI produces.
So less typing boilerplate code, more high-level thinking, and quality control.
Exactly. It's almost like the senior dev becomes more of an architect or a conductor directing the AI rather than playing every single note themselves. It really changes the day-to-day.
And it's not just code or content. Even the way we interact with websites and apps is changing. User interfaces.
Oh, definitely. We're seeing this move away from just clicking buttons and filling forms, the traditional graphical UI. It's shifting towards more natural language, voice commands, maybe even interfaces that predict what you need next. AI can now take a visual design, like a mock-up, and spit out working components, sometimes even generate whole interfaces with just a description.
Okay, hold on. If AI can generate code and interfaces that quickly, that must throw a huge wrench into how agencies bill for their work, right? The whole hourly model seems shaky. Yeah.
It's more than shaky. It's becoming obsolete in many areas. That's a huge point. Think about it. If you're charging, say, $150 an hour for work that your client knows an AI could probably draft in minutes, well, that conversation gets awkward fast. Agencies really have to shift their thinking, Pricing needs to be based on the outcome, the value delivered, the expertise involved, not just the hours clocked.
Right. Focus on the impact you make for the client, not just the effort it took.
Precisely. It's about tangible results. Are you increasing their leads? Improving conversion rates? That's where the value lies now.
Okay, so billing models change. And this connects to another disruption, doesn't it? How people find information online.
Yes, information discovery. This is a big one. As more people get used to asking AI assistants or chatbots for answers, getting the info directly without clicking through links, the traditional website's role as the main destination, it starts to diminish. If users get their answers without ever visiting your client's site, well, your classic SEO playbook,
Right.
it becomes less effective or at least needs a serious rethink.
So the whole strategy around driving traffic and engagement needs to adapt.
Fundamentally, it forces clients and agencies to ask, what is the purpose of our online presence, if not just being an information repository?
Okay, so AI is automating content, code, even parts of the interface, and changing how people find info. The big question then becomes, what's left for humans? Is there still a core, irreplaceable value we bring?
That really is the central question, isn't it? And the answer, thankfully, seems to be yes, absolutely. Despite all this automation, human expertise is still critical. You need people to set the strategy, the direction, to guide the priorities. You absolutely need humans to rigorously review what the AI produces. Quality control is paramount. And ultimately, someone has to take responsibility for the quality, for the business outcomes.
Responsibility.
Right?
That's key.
Yeah.
The AI isn't accountable if something goes wrong.
Exactly. That's what the source calls the accountability gap. AI executes tasks, but accountability stays human. Think about airline pilots. Autopilot flies most of the plane, right? But the pilot is still 100% responsible for safety. Or, insurance companies using software for quotes. They're still on the hook for the policy they issue. That gap, that need for human oversight and responsibility, creates this lasting, essential space for human expertise.
That accountability gap, that's a really powerful concept. It puts the value, the necessity back onto human judgment. Definitely something for you listening to think about in your own role.
Okay, so if human expertise is still vital, how does all this AI disruption change the structure of digital agencies themselves? For years, the model was pretty standard. Bundle everything together. Strategy, design, dev, project management, maintenance.
Right, and that bundling made sense. Coordination was complex and expensive. Highly technical skills were harder to find, so you paid a premium for an agency that could handle it all.
But AI changes that equation completely. What we're seeing now, according to the source, is this great unbundling. AI starts to separate the work. What can be automated easily? What can clients maybe do themselves now with AI tools? And what really requires that deep human insight and expertise? But it's not just falling apart, it's also rebundling. Services are getting packaged in new ways, built around new principles like speed, deep specialization, measurable results, the accountability piece we just talked about, and the sheer value of human judgment. So it's more like a reorganization than just a dismantling.
And this unbundling, it puts pressure on one specific area. Just knowing a platform really well. Is that kind of expertise becoming less valuable on its own?
Yes, that's a key takeaway. AI essentially boosts the supply of technical skill. It automates tasks that used to require specialized knowledge, making that knowledge more common and, well, cheaper. We've seen this before, right? SaaS website builders like Squarespace or Wix already commoditized basic website building years ago. That pushed agencies towards more complex custom projects.
And AI is just accelerating that push, but into even higher level work.
Exactly. It's pushing into complex, even enterprise-level stuff now. Agencies have always adapted by moving up the stack, doing more strategic, more customized work that's harder to automate. AI is just raising that bar again. It means agencies need to move up that stack faster, adapt quicker.
Which brings us to something really exciting mentioned in the sources, the rise of these new orchestration platforms. What are those about?
Yeah, this is moving beyond the traditional DXP or digital experience platform. The new way of building things involves visual workflow builders, tools that manage how different APIs talk to each other, API orchestration, and something the source calls the Model Context Protocol. Think of it as a new standard for different AI models and software systems to communicate and share information effectively.
Okay, so what does that let you do?
The cool thing is these tools let you visually connect everything, like drag and drop interfaces to link AI models, automation tools, your CRM, content systems, analytics, all of it. Stuff that used to take months of custom coding, you might be able to prototype it in days now. It's incredibly fast for trying ideas.
But prototyping is one thing. Making it work reliably in the real world is another.
Precisely. Getting from a cool prototype to a robust, production-ready system that still needs serious technical chops. You need to architect systems that react instantly to events, event-driven architecture. You need to manage state, handle errors gracefully, especially when AI might hallucinate or make mistakes. Security, governance, making sure it can scale. This is what the source calls the new technical high ground for agencies. It's less about building standalone websites and more about orchestrating these complex, interconnected digital systems that solve ongoing business problems.
Okay, that paints a picture of pretty dramatic change. So given all this, what can agencies actually do to adapt and, thrive? The source material offers 6 strategies, kind of split into 2 groups, dealing with today and preparing for tomorrow. Let's start with today. First strategy, become AI augmented, not AI resistant. What does that look like in practice?
It's really about embracing efficiency. Look across your entire operation. Can code assistants help your developers work faster? Can AI help draft reports or proposals for your PMs or sales folks? The idea isn't necessarily about replacing people, it's about making everyone more effective, freeing up time for that higher level strategic thinking, the human stuff. It's about getting smarter and faster.
Makes sense.
hmm
And if AI makes delivery faster, that brings us back to pricing, right? Strategy 2.
Exactly. Focus on outcomes, not effort. We touched on this. Hourly billing just gets harder and harder to justify for tasks AI speeds up. So you've got to shift your pricing model, tie it to the actual value you create for the client. Are you improving their conversion rate by X%, cutting customer service costs? That's the conversation, not just we spent Y hours building this. It aligns your success directly with theirs.
And the third strategy for today's market, sell through consultation, not just execution.
Yes. As the tech landscape gets more complex and changes faster, clients need guides. Agencies have a huge opportunity to step up into a more consultative role. Be the trusted partner who helps clients even understand the problem correctly, then shape the right solution using these new tools. It's about combining that deep technical knowledge with real business insight. You're not just taking orders, you're shaping strategy.
Okay, those cover optimizing for now. What about positioning for the future? Strategy 4 is about becoming the layer between AI and the client. What does that mean?
It means going beyond just using AI tools internally. It's positioning your agency as that crucial bridge. You connect the raw power of AI with the specific, messy, real-world needs of your clients. This involves things like building really robust quality control processes for AI-generated output. You have to ensure accuracy and brand safety. It also means acting as AI translators, being able to explain complex AI capabilities in simple business terms and identify the right applications. You're the human filter, the expert guide.
Right, the quality control and translation piece seems critical. Strategy 5 talks about packaging repeatable solutions. How does that work in an AI world?
Well, if purely custom work becomes easier to automate or bring in-house, one way to differentiate is to productize your expertise. Take the solutions you've built, the knowledge you've gained, and package them into distinct named offerings, like maybe it's a performance marketing system for e-commerce or a content optimization engine for B2B. AI actually makes this easier because it lowers the cost of building and maintaining these packaged solutions. It makes that productized service model more scalable and gives you something unique to sell.
Okay, and the final strategy, number 6, builds on that new technical high ground idea. Build systems that manage complex digital workflows.
That's right. This is about shifting the mindset from one-off projects like building a single website to creating ongoing systems. Think about orchestrating multiple tools, data sources, and AI agents in real time to solve a continuous business problem. Examples could be a system where new blog content automatically triggers tailored social media posts, or landing pages dynamically adjust based on performance data, or ad spend shifts automatically based on real-time market signals. It requires designing these responsive, event-driven systems that deliver value continuously, not just at launch.
So, as agencies make these strategic moves, there's another big choice point. Which platforms do you align with? Open source versus proprietary seems like a critical decision now.
It really is, especially because the platforms themselves are adding AI features,
Yeah.
and any feature they add could potentially reduce the amount of work left for an agency. But, and this is key, proprietary and open source platforms have fundamentally different motivations here. Proprietary platforms, think Squarespace, Shopify, Wix, HubSpot, maybe they primarily sell directly to the end client. For them, automating tasks that agencies currently do using AI is often a core part of their growth strategy. If they can automate website creation with a prompt or write product descriptions automatically, that's potentially more revenue directly for them, less for an agency partner. Their business model often centers on maximizing automation for their direct users.
Okay, so their incentive might be to eventually cut the agency out, or at least reduce the need for them.
Potentially, yes, or at least commoditize the services agencies provide on their platform. Now, contrast that with open source platforms like, say, Drupal or WordPress. These platforms typically don't monetize the end users directly in the same way. Their success, their vibrancy, depends heavily on a healthy ecosystem of agencies and developers building on them, contributing back, staying competitive. If they were to automate away all the valuable work agencies do, they'd actually be weakening their own ecosystem.
So their incentive is to keep agencies thriving.
Exactly. They tend to thrive by leaving meaningful, complex, valuable work for agencies to do. They benefit when their agency partners are successful and growing. Their models are often built around supporting the ecosystem.
That puts a really important question on the table for agencies and for you listening.
It does. You need to ask, do I want to build my business primarily on platforms whose growth strategy might involve replacing my services? Or do I want to partner with platforms whose success is intrinsically linked to my agency's success and growth? It's a fundamental strategic choice about who you align with long term.
It's clear this whole transition is challenging, no doubt about it.
No.
But the source material actually frames it quite positively in the end. It says this presents the biggest opportunity for differentiation that agencies have seen in years.
Right. Success isn't going to come from digging in your heels and fighting yesterday's battles. It's about moving early, being willing to experiment, trying these new approaches, and really positioning yourself as that vital human layer between the raw power of AI and what your clients actually need to achieve.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe leave you with this thought to chew on. We're not just getting slightly better tools here. We really are entering a world, as the source puts it, of CNC machines and robotic arms, tools that automate complex tasks once done entirely by hand.
And the people, the agencies who learn to truly master these new capabilities, who can skillfully blend the incredible efficiency of automation with that irreplaceable human judgment, strategy, and accountability, they're going to create things, build solutions, achieve results that simply weren't possible before. So the question becomes, what new things, what new possibilities might you be able to create in this landscape?